Alright, so as I actually told you that I will be consistent enough in terms of actually making videos. So I haven't been actually maintain my consistency. For that reason, I am actually having to say sorry to myself because I was a bit in a fix yesterday. For that reason, I actually couldn't make any kind of videos, but I wanted to actually make videos, and the overall scenario was not suitable for actually making videos. For that reason, I actually didn't make any kind of videos. However, now I am actually going to make some of the videos as I told you that I will actually take some questions and then I will go through that questions. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, or let's get the ball rolling. Okay, all right, the first thing, so we will actually talk about that means I will actually talk about the birthday. So yeah, now let's see what is actually waiting for me. Okay, the first question is, what did you usually do on your birthday when you were a child? Okay, so when I was child, on that moment, I most of the time actually used to celebrate my birthday. So I can still remember because I was so much full of joy because my birthday is on the same day. That means when the new year is actually happen, on that day my birthday is actually celebrated. That means I actually can actually celebrate both like in one part. So I actually celebrate my birthday, at the same time I actually celebrate the happy new year. So yeah, so for that reason it's not actually fake. Most of the times I have heard that many people actually try to pretend that they actually born on the very first day of the year, but to be very honest, and most of the time they would like to actually grab the attention from the others. Okay, but my birthday is actually genuinely the first day of the year. So for that reason I am actually I feel a bit lucky at the same time. Anyway, so when I was actually a child, so I used to actually celebrate in different way, as I am actually celebrating. Okay, and when I was child, on that moment, on that very day, I was so happy. I was like in seventh heaven. Why? Because on that day I actually get loads of prizes or presents from my relatives. Not only that, I also actually I was a big fan of motor car and remote control car. So whenever people would actually provide me that on my birthday, I would literally be a big fan of that very particular person who actually gave me this. So it actually it actually gives me a positive signal that from now on, if I wish, okay, I wish that I have the birthday every single day, I will actually get the reward, the present from them every single day. That's what I actually think when I was actually a kid. It was which is really absurd, and I used to actually observe, and on that very day we actually invite most of our relatives who used to actually come to have something. We actually offer them as food like feast. So on that day, so actually they actually come and have something, and we actually enjoy a lot on that day. And yeah, they always try to actually make me happy on that very day, and I don't actually forget, and I hope that I will not actually, I never ever actually forget that, because This was like a red letter day for me. Anyway, so right now I am actually celebrating in a different way, which is absolutely different. And right now on that very day, I try to actually plant some trees, number one, and number two, the food which I was supposed to actually feed the relatives or the people, my kith and kin, so I don't actually provide them at all. Why? Because just think about whenever we are actually serving them, so there is a high chance that they actually don't take it so much so much cordially. Why? Because no matter whatever food we are actually providing, they always try to actually find out some flaws, okay, resulting into it actually made us a bit angry, and to be very honest, okay, because just think about, we actually tried to make our food very very best. So so unfortunately or fortunately, if we actually don't get the proper things, so we might actually get a bit angry, because we actually didn't want to make these kind of foods a bit untasty, or we actually try to make this so much palatable, right? And unfortunately, if something actually occurs, like we have actually added uh, a bit salt, or we have actually forgot to actually add some salt, okay, so that's what we actually face. Anyway, so let me actually interrupt a bit, and I am actually coming back. Okay, sorry for interrupting. Okay, so as I actually told you that, so what actually happens is, so we are actually trying a lot to feed them in a good way. Okay, unfortunately, if there is something missing, like a salt a bit or something like that, they always, if they actually don't find anything, they always say, they actually didn't arrange this one or that one. Okay, something like that. That expression actually really hurts us. Okay, so when I actually became a bit adult, on that moment I realized that yes, from now on I will not actually celebrate my birthday anymore. Rather, I will actually invest this money to the people, those who are poor, and I always try to actually feed them. At the same time, I always actually think about the animals as well, because there are lots of animals. Whatever we are actually feeding them, they might be they might be a big fan of us, right? And just think about, if you actually offer some food to a dog, so if you actually give 1 day, 2 day, and the third day, you will see that this dog became one of your big fan, right? So that's what actually happens. Okay, so anyway, so for that reason, I am actually reluctant to celebrate this kind of a birthday celebration. Okay, and still I don't actually celebrate this, but as I told you that I am actually celebrating my birthday in a different way, as I told you right now. So the same thing I actually do in every year. I always try to actually do that, and right now I already actually did the same thing in this year as well. Okay, all right, so now let's move on our next question, that is, how do you normally celebrate your birthday now? Already I actually answered of that questions. Anyway, so if I'd like to actually recap all of those things, okay, so I always prefer to serve to serve food to the people who are really need for this. Okay, so what's the point of actually adding oil who has already oil? That means I am actually trying to making sure you that whenever we are actually inviting our relatives or kith and kin, they are sorry they are already in a good way, okay, and they have enough. Okay, so with this money, if I can actually feed the people who are really struggling and who are really worthy of getting this, so I hope that the blessings, the prayers that I will actually get from them, it's literally unmeasurable. For that reason, I actually do that. Okay, so yeah, that's how I actually celebrate, and I always try to on that. Oh, wait a minute. Let me actually clarify one thing. So on that very moment, I always try to actually detox myself the whole day. Okay, because we are living in this era. That means we can never ever actually think a moment without our contraption or devices, right? So it's a bit it's a bit frustrating at the same time, because just think about, and I reckon that nowadays the prison is not actually required. Why? Because those who are actually committing any kind of crime, so if they are actually refrained from this kind of devices, I am sure that there would definitely be crazy. Trust me, they would definitely be able to actually, they would definitely be crazy, okay, and they will not be able to actually come back, okay, and this is the modern punishment, I reckon, okay. Anyway, so that's what about this question. Okay, now let's move on our next question, that is your birthday now still as important to you as when you were a child? No, 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 no. Okay, so I already told many times, right? Okay, not at all. Why? Because when I was actually a child, on that moment, the birthday celebration was a blessing for me, and I actually, in fact, I actually expected many birthday celebration that I can actually do. Okay, and resulting into when I was actually a kid, and I didn't have that kind of knowledge about the life. Okay, and as the time going on, so I am actually realizing something. 1 year past means we have limited time, right? So 1 year has already gone means another new year actually came. That means, for example, this is my birth date, this is my death date, okay? So these are fixed, okay? So 1 year actually has gone means I am actually going towards my, what should I actually say? My death day. Okay, so it actually I actually feels in a way that, oh my goodness, the creator who actually created us, uh, for which has he actually created us, probably we should actually do something. So what we are actually doing, and it actually made me too much contemplate or think about it. So I realize, and I at times regret that, oh my goodness, I have already lost one of the years from my valuable life. What have I actually done? And even if I actually die, so have I been able to actually do something for the community? For what? And for which work people will actually remember me? So that's what I actually think, and it actually made me too much what would be the suitable word, okay, too much thoughtful, because I'm actually going with the flow. And when I actually think about my future, my journey, and what I did, and what is actually remaining. So, what am I actually doing? Am I actually doing the right things or wrong things? Okay, that's what I am actually thinking. Anyway, so that's what I actually face. And yes, I would have to actually say right now, whatever I am actually thinking. So it's totally different, and it actually reminds me the death day. Yeah. So I don't actually celebrate my birthday celebration as I was supposed to do. Okay. All right. Now let's move on our next question. That is, do you think it's important to give someone a card when it's their birthday? Um, It actually depends, but for me, if I would like to actually say, yes, if you actually give them something, any card, so they will actually feel a bit special. Oh, he actually remembered me and he genuinely cared about me. So that's what this kind of psychological terms can be inflected in him. Okay, so for actually creating this kind of good impression, so I reckon that yes. We should actually provide this kind of cards, and it's not necessarily that we need to actually provide a card, but it's a way, it's a way to actually get into this very context. That means, so whenever we will offer something, and he will actually feel a bit special, and he may actually remember you as well. So that's why we can actually do that, but it's not mandatory, I reckon, because just think about, if anyone actually aren't there, and in fact, if they actually didn't bring something over there, that means he loves this person. For that reason, he actually spent his valuable time to actually came here. So isn't it surprising, or isn't it a bit memorable? Of course. Okay, so it actually depends on the on the people. So I reckon that yes, we need to actually offer something at least, because just think about, this is only one day. Okay, he is actually going to celebrate on that very moment. If we can actually feel him, if we can actually make him feel that he is not alone, we are actually with him. So we actually genuinely and we actually genuinely take care of him, and he can actually feels a bit, he can actually feel a bit positive vibe. Okay, so that's what we can actually say. Okay, so now let's move on our next question, that is, okay, do you think the price of gifts or presents is important? Of course, and the price, of course not. Why? Because just think about, whatever I have, if I have the ability to actually provide 500 takas gift, so I would definitely find something which is in this budget, right? So I reckon that whatever we are actually trying to provide to anyone, so price is not a big issue in that case, because just think about, it's a gift. Okay, it might be anything from yarn to whatever you can actually give, you can, but but we need to actually remember that whatever we are actually giving, if the person is actually accepting this in a good way, that is actually enough for having a good relationship, and valuing this person, that you actually genuinely care about me. Okay, so yes, and the price may be anything. Okay, sorry, the gift may be anything. So I don't think that the price has to be so high or so low. If anyone actually provides a very high luxurious items, and if anyone actually provides the low items, so um, it doesn't actually matter. Why? Because at the end of the day, what actually matters is we have something to actually provide you, and most importantly, we have actually provided our valuable time to actually came here. So that's what, if the that means the owner, that means whose birthday is actually going on, he can actually relay that. So I reckon that nothing is more important than value. Okay, so no matter what the price of that goods or presents or gifts, so it will actually depends on the mentality of the people, that means who are going to celebrate that. Okay, so it's not a big deal at all. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next topic, which is related to books. Okay, all right, so the first question, do you like reading books? Honestly, I love to actually read some of the books, and which is related to science, English, and which is related to my career development. I am not actually a big fan of history and literature or something like that, but I always try to actually prefer to read the psychological book and science related book, and not fiction, and it has to be really scientific book. Okay, and another books that I am actually going to start to read, that is the business book. Okay, so yes, and in this year I actually plan to read some of the books related to business. So yeah, I love to actually read books, because once I have actually heard the quotation from Bill Gates, one of his podcasts, he actually said that he is not happy. So, oh my goodness, what is he actually talking about? It actually made us so much curious. Why? Because just think about it, he is the billionaire, and he is telling that I am not actually happy at all. Why? So he said that I read books, but I am not being able to actually read all of the books because of not having all of the books in English language. That means in his language. That means it proves that how many books does he actually read, and he is actually willing to read. And he also mentioned that whatever you are actually learning from anyone, from anybody, it may be anyone or anybody, so you may actually learn much better than the books. Okay, why? So initially it was a bit controversial sorry, controversial for me, because what is he saying? So because I once heard from one of the famous person, I can't actually still remember his name anyway. So he actually said that whatever you are actually learning, so you can actually learn much better than a man from the book. Okay, because the man is actually reacting in a physical world, okay, and real life world, and this is like bookish knowledge, and people not even actually think of like that way. Okay, so that's why I was actually a bit controversial, what are they actually saying. But what I actually realized is, so after watching the podcast of Bill Gates, he actually said that whenever a man is actually writing his book, he actually puts all time, efforts, and many things with that, and his experience as well. For writing something, he will have to actually go through many books, resulting into, so whenever I am actually reading, for example, so I can actually learn all of the things in 1 hours, in 1 week, or even 1 month. Why? But the author who has actually written this book, he might actually take 6 months, 7 months, or even 1 year as well. So just think about, I can actually get all of the knowledge which is actually included over there within a very short time. Through what? Through books. For that reason, reading books is really good habit, and I am not actually big fan of reading books, and in fact I need to actually work on that. And let's see what is actually going to happen, and I have actually planned as well. Okay, now let's move on our next question, that is, how often do you read? Okay, so it's a bit tricky, by the way, because whenever I actually get time, I always try to do something, and I always try to actually learn something by myself, and it actually depends on my schedule, because once I am actually free, so on that moment I always try to actually read something. And right now I am actually reluctant of reading, and I prefer to learn something or to listen to audiobook. Okay, so the same thing is the same thing I'm actually getting through audiobook, so that's why I actually prefer to audiobooks. Okay, and yes, I will have to actually say I probably 3 to 4 days per week I actually try to go through the books. and at times I can actually maintain that, and at times I can't. Okay, and I will have to actually say sorry for that. Anyway, so I am thinking of actually, let me add something. Audio books. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, all right. Now let's move on our next question. That is, do you have many books at home? Yes, I actually have many books, and which is related to academic. Okay, and for learning my academic lessons, I actually purchased many books. And apart from all of those things, and I have some of the books which is not actually related to academic, but it's related to my religion. And I at times actually read, and once in a blue moon. Okay, but my family members prefer to actually read. Yeah, we have a couple of books. We have a bookshelf as well, and we actually stored all of those books over there. And whatever and whichever books people actually want, people can actually easily go access over there. It is actually free. So yeah, that's what about it. Okay, now let's move on our next question. That is, do you prefer to buy books or borrow them? Okay, it actually depends on the context. Okay, let me clarify. I always actually prefer to purchase books. Okay, so why? Because whenever I purchase the books, I have the proper rights to actually do whatever I am actually thinking of doing. Let's say I am actually taking notes, I can actually put it over there, and on that moment, I actually feel a bit satisfaction that, oh my god, this is my book. So whatever problem or whatever I am actually going to face, I can actually handle that. So that's why I have the whole authority. That's what I actually prefer. But when it actually comes to that, there is a book and which is actually required for me a lot, but I'm not being able to actually purchase that. And in fact, this is like rare in my region or in my locality. So on that moment, I try to actually purchase that, even if I can't actually manage all of those things. So on that moment, I actually go for searching, and if I actually find, I always try to actually borrow. But more often I actually never ever actually borrowed any books, because I don't want anyone to actually authorize on me, because I don't actually like that. Because if I actually borrow some books, on that moment I am actually in bond with him, bondage. Okay, so whatever and whichever, they can actually say anytime. Okay, and they have the full right, so I can actually let it be. So for that reason, I always prefer to purchasing books compare to borrowing. Okay, and when it comes to that means the price of the books is too much high, on that moment I actually consider to borrow some of the books. And before purchasing, let's say it will take 2k 3k money. Okay, so on that moment, it's a huge, right? So I always actually prefer to actually go through the books. I borrow some books, some not some books. I borrow these very specific books, and then I actually go through the contents. And if I actually am convinced with that, so on that moment, I actually go for purchasing. Otherwise, I actually reject, and I actually did as well these things. Okay, anyway, now let's move on our next question. That is, what are the benefits of reading? Oh my goodness, reading is everything. I need to actually say why. Reading is like input. Okay, so there are two inputs. One is reading and the other is listening. Okay, all right, so whenever we are actually reading, we actually learn loads of things, and we actually receive many information, and which actually made us a bit different from the rest, from the crowd. Okay, so, and there is a quotation I have heard from Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, probably, and he said that those who know and those who don't know, they are not the same. So that means he wanted to actually put the importance of actually knowing something. Yes, knowledge, for actually seeking knowledge, we need to actually go for reading. There is no alternative to reading. So for that reason, we need to actually read as much as possible. Okay, so yes, read actually helps us to avoid the bad habits as well. Let's say I have a habit of book reading, so once I will actually read, so I will be able to actually make my mind a bit mindfulness. I can actually practice that. Why? Because I will be able to actually detox myself from the social media or hanging out anywhere. So yes, it will actually it will actually help my brain. And at times what we are actually reading, if we can actually visualize that, oh my god, it will literally be the next to the next level. Why? Because just think about, we have actually read blue sky. Just think, oh, blue means this color. Okay, sky, blue sky. Just your imagine. Okay, that means your imagination power will be actually boosted because of actually reading this. And not only that, you can actually get the whole information within a very short period of time by reading books. So overall, I reckon that yes, the benefits of reading books is unbeatable, I will have to actually say. Anyway, so now let's move on our next question, that is, what book would you take on a long journey? Okay, so honestly, I actually didn't bring any kind of didn't take or bring any kind of books in my long journey. And I love to actually, if I actually ever get a chance to bring or to take the books in my long journey, I would definitely prefer to learn psychological books. Okay, because psychology matters a lot. Whatever we are actually doing, if we can read the psychology of the people, oh my goodness, this is another skills that everyone actually wants. Okay, whatever and wherever you are, no matter which position you are in, but if you can actually understand, if you know the circumstances, and if you have the proper knowledge of psychology, I am sure that you will be the master of that very specific of that very specific area. Okay, and that's why I always actually prefer to take along a psychological books when I am in a long journey. And besides this, if I actually am bored, so on that moment, for cutting out the boring, so on that moment I can actually prefer to read the storybooks as well. Okay, yeah, that's what I will actually do if I actually get chance. Anyway, now let's move on our next question, that is, how easy is it for you to read books in English? Okay, so initially it was a bit hard for me because I was not too much proficient in English, but with the flow of time, so and I was actually in beginner level, I actually started with that. And yes, I used to actually face difficulty, but right now I am in intermediate level. I can actually relate anything, and even if I actually don't know the words, so I always try to figure out the meaning from the context. Yeah, that's how I am actually going. And I am still improving every single day. I am actually trying and working on that as well. Okay, now let's move on our next question, that is, have you given reading a book recently? Have you given up reading? Oh yes, I would have to actually mention that one of the books that I wanted to read, that is The Power of Subconscious Mind. And I actually wanted to finish this book, and unfortunately I actually started, but I read some of the pages, and but due to not having the proper consistency, I actually gave away, and I should actually start reading this book as well. And let's see. And since I'm actually making videos, so I can start reading these books within this week. Okay, that's what I will have to actually do. Okay, now let's move on our next question. That is, what kind of people like reading? What kind of people like reading? And what kind of people don't like reading very much? Okay, so if I would like to actually say in one word, so I would have to actually say that those who are brilliant, those who are genius, those who are thinking of doing something big in their life, they love to actually read. On the contrary, there are many people who also want to do like this, but because of not actually getting the enough time, and because of not having the proper intention, so they actually can't do that. So I would have to actually say that yes, the people who are genuinely care about their life, they love to actually read books, and in fact they also regret for not reading all of the books at times, as I told you, the Bill Gates did. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next question. That's, what kinds of books do you like to read? Okay, already I answered of that question. That is, I mostly like to read science related. That means about the technology and future technology, what to do and what not to do, what can we actually do, and what would be the proper steps to achieve that. And I also prefer to know about the business, how business actually works. In future I may also do the same thing as well. For the future I always try to actually prefer to read the business related books. And another books that I would like to actually say, that is the psychological books. Okay, and I am too much interested in psychology because I love to actually know the people and for understanding overall anyone. So I reckon that yes, this is the best book. And and if you would like to actually develop yourself, and psychology book can be a good option for you. All right, now let's move on our next question. That is what's that? Okay, so what is the best book you have ever read? Okay, so I have read a couple of books, and among them, if I'd like to actually say one of the books, that is Know Your Know Your Friends. This is the books I actually read, and from there, what I actually experienced is there are many people we may have who are in touch with us, but among them, we need to actually clarify that who are really care about me, and who are really a good person for our life, and who is actually thinking about us. So that's what we need to actually clarify. There are lots of people who are like a summer friend. Okay, once you have everything on that moment, you will actually see that they are actually so-called friend. Okay, so they will try to induce you. They will try to actually feel happy, and they will actually cry if you cry, and if you actually laugh, they will also laugh. That means whatever you actually do, they would definitely support. Okay, and once you are in danger, or you are in a fix, on that moment no one is actually here to help you. On that moment we can actually realize that who are our real friend, real best friend. Okay, so that's what we need to actually find out, and it will help me a lot. And after reading that book, I literally prefer to stay alone than meeting or hanging out with my friends. Why? Because at times I realize that the people who are with me, they are literally be for something with me. Okay, and when I realized that, I actually moved a bit backward to actually understand all of those things. Yeah, that's what I can actually say, that it actually helped me a lot. So I reckon that these books should be actually read by most of the people who are really think of doing something. And in fact, this was actually written in Bangla, so you can't actually find this book in English. Okay, so that's what I actually wanted to mention. Okay, so now let's move on our next question, that is reading books a popular activity in your country? No. No, not really. Not at all. Why? Because the people of my country are not actually interested in reading books. In fact, we don't even encourage that. Let's see if anyone, let me actually put an example here to make you clarify. If anyone actually reading a book, sitting at the park, and at the same time, if there are many people who are actually taking cigarette or smoking, people will actually make laugh of the people, that means who are reading books. This is the scenario of my country. Okay, that means whatever, if you would like to actually do the some good deeds, people will actually make fun of you. And the same thing goes for as well. Just think about, if you would like to develop, if you would like to be fit, and if you take the proteins like egg or something like that, whenever you will actually have that, people will actually stare at you like this. Huh? Like this, right? So and at times they will also actually see in crossed eye view, like this way. Okay, so which proves that whenever you are actually going to do something better, on that moment they will definitely try to make you fun, make you laugh and everything. Okay, but whenever you are actually doing the opposite thing, if you do the negative, oh, people will actually appreciate them. Wow. Okay, this is the condition of this country. Okay, so I'm not actually sure is it actually seen all over Bangladesh or not, but in my region most of the time I actually encountered that. Anyway, so it was a bit irrelevant or off the topic. Now coming back to our main topics. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next question, that is, do you like that electronic books or e-readers are better than real books? Again, I need to actually say it will actually depends on the reader. Okay, so if he is actually comfortable or comfy with reading through online, so it would be better for him. And if he's not actually sure, or he's not actually feeling a bit comfortable and feeling uneasy with that, so they can actually prefer the real books. So for me, if I would like to actually say, I love to actually have the physical books when it actually comes to when it actually comes to remind something. And there are PDF as well, and at times I don't actually get it so much, but with the flow of time I hope that I will definitely be able to actually switch to there. And yes, whenever we are actually reading something, we actually touch that book, we actually open this book, we actually mark that book. That means we are actually doing with proper intention. Okay, but in on PDF or e-book reader, we just click the mouse and we type something like that. We don't have anything, right? So for the reason, I actually prefer to actually have physical copy compared to the electronic book. That is my perspective. It may actually vary with person to person. Okay, all right, so that's what about it. And now let's move on our next topic, that is related to celebrity. All right, so who is your favorite celebrities? Okay, there are a couple of celebrities I really admire. So among them, if I would like to actually say more specifically, I would have to say the biggest celebrities that I actually admire. He is no other than our famous, and the name is actually a household word, like everybody knows this name, that is Salman Khan. Okay, and why I like him so much? Because of his behavior, because of his character. Okay, and charismatic character I have ever seen. Why? Because just think about, I have seen most of the actors, or most of the people, since I'm actually talking about the entertainment related, so I should actually answer in that way. Okay, so I have actually seen many kind of many kinds of people, actors especially. So they, when they actually shoot, they actually take so much close shot with the females. Okay, and I have never ever seen, and he actually made sure that, and he didn't actually do any kind of kissing scene with any kind of actress. And when he was actually asked about this, he said that I don't want to convey a bad message to my followers. So this is the only reason I actually admire him so much. Okay, so for that reason, he actually became one of my biggest, I should actually say biggest celebrity. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next question. That is, do you like any foreign celebrities? Yes, the person whom am I actually talking right now so long, he is from India. Okay, that means he is from foreign countries. So I love him so much. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next question. That is, would you want to be a celebrity in the future? No, 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 not really. So I would like to be celebrity to some extent. Why? I would like to be celebrity in my own house. Okay, that means I will be celebrity for my sisters. I will be celebrity for my parents. I will be celebrity for my spouse. Okay, so that they can actually say that he is a celebrity for us. Okay, I will have to actually grow myself in that way, that I will do something. Okay, all right. So that's why I love to actually be a celebrity. Okay, and if I'd like to actually say, will I be celebrity for others? No, I don't want to be, because becoming celebrity is not an easy, number one. And even if I actually become a celebrity, but I will have so much restriction. Okay, and right now I can actually move anywhere, anytime, with anyone or without anyone, right? Okay, but whenever I will be celebrity, there will be so much tough condition. Okay, so I will not be able to do that, or I'll not be able to actually go there, and there are lots of things we may actually face. Okay, all right, now let's move on our next question. That is, do you think we should protect famous people's privacy? Of course, just think about, one is celebrity, and as I told you that my celebrity is Salman Khan. So if I would like to actually say him, so since he is celebrity, that means he is actually followed by many fan followers, right? So whatever messages he actually would like to convey, so there is a high chance that everyone can actually accept that. So whenever he will have the bad characters, so on that moment the fan followers also get this kind of things. And if, even if he has the some privacy issues, he can actually keep all of the things by himself. It's okay. Okay, all right. So yes, because we judge people by their behavior and everything. Whenever their privacy actually comes out, we never ever actually try to believe that very person. And no, and it also happens that whenever we are actually going to admire someone, we at times doubt, because just think about it. We actually know him. He's a good guy, and he doesn't do anything or like this. We have actually a bit mindset, and whenever this mindset actually broke, for anything, okay. So on that moment, it is very very tough to actually to actually believe or trust anyone. So there is a trust issue as well, okay. All right, now let's move on our next question. That is, okay, how do you celebrate? How do celebrities influence their fans in your country? Okay, there are many celebrities, and at times, most of the people actually try to utilize them. Let's say, there is a mall, there is a shopping mall, and they are actually going to inaugurate. On that moment, they they invite some of the celebrities, resulting into when they actually came here, the fan and followers get to know about that, and they made crowd over there to take a selfie or to talk to him or something like that. And they actually influence all of those things with the help of social media. They actually post, they actually say that if you like to actually guys meet me, so you can actually come over here, something like that. So that's how they actually influence. And not only that, whenever they come, they also make sure that since I am, or as I am actually coming here, so you can actually get this kind of discounts or something like that. So because of actually having all of the things, so the people, the general people actually become a bit motivated to go in that very particular area, okay. All right, so I reckon I should actually stop here. It has already been 51 minutes. Okay. All right. I already answered some of the questions, and I am actually having to sorry myself again because I couldn't make videos yesterday. For that reason, I actually made this video, and I wish you all the very best because speaking comes from speaking, okay. If you'd like to develop, you need to actually speak. That's what I always say, and I will always say as well, okay. All right, so I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.